McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Leadership Mind Switch, Rethinking How We Lead in the New World of Work. Written by D.A. Benton and Kylie Wright-Ford. Narrated by Caroline Miller. Introduction. The Fourth Industrial Revolution. The factory of the future will have only two employees, a man and a dog. The man will be there to feed the dog. The dog will be there to keep the man from touching the equipment. Warren Bennis. As you pick up this book, you may be experiencing a shift in your workplace, in your organization, or even in your professional lifestyle as the world around you changes rapidly. Perhaps you are reaching a new stage in your career and wrestling with how to be successful going forward. Maybe you are building your leadership skills or trying to refine them to fit the current needs of your team. The books you read and the advice you receive on leadership are probably from another era, one of iconic business, political, or historical leaders. Some of this advice is certainly still relevant, but some is entirely antiquated. The leadership game has changed substantially over time, even in the last 2 years, and continues to do so. We wrote The Leadership Mind Switch to help you thrive in this new business landscape, what is being called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Unveiled by global thinkers at the 2016 World Economic Forum, this revolution is set to transform the way we need to lead and live. A note to our readers. Throughout the book, you will see quotes from conversations we have had with leaders on various subjects. These words of wisdom come directly from leaders of all ages and walks of life and represent their current thinking. We found that these tiny pieces of insight reflect the hundreds of people we talk to about the leadership mind switch and why it is needed. You will also find stories from the road at the end of each chapter. They, too, reflect the diversity of the leaders we interviewed, from Fortune 500 leaders to MBA students. You will find a story from a global CMO, a CFO at a private equity firm, presidents and academics, millennials and sage advisors, even a couple who bought a whole town. We want you to relate to different stories in different ways. This is part of the point of the mind switch that is needed. Leadership is not about a title, it is about the qualities and behaviors that you exude. And nuggets of how to succeed can come from many different corners in the diverse world we live in. Leaders mostly rely on habits and processes that have served them well in the past. We use our wisdom to guide us, and it is an efficient way to behave. However, the premise for this book, and our firm belief, is that a mind switch is needed now to be ready for the future. When the environment changes dramatically, which it has and will continue to do so as the fourth revolution unfolds, actions and thoughts need to adjust similarly. The leadership mind switch portrays a radical change to the way you think about your leadership behaviors and qualities. It is more than a shift in your mindset. It is a jolt to the way you think and act. The urgency to change is based on a realization that moving at the pace of the past is not going to work effectively anymore, especially when leading across different generations and styles. Before we dive into the mind switch in detail, perhaps some background to the way our workforce has evolved will give context. Many of us are a little rusty on the history of the first 3 eras of industry, the so-called revolutions. The first industrial revolution was characterized by the transition from old to new manufacturing processes. The second by a technological phase of rapid industrialization and mass production. And the third by the digitization of manufacturing. In the words of the World Economic Forum, the fourth industrial revolution is characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. To us, it is a collective term describing contemporary automation, digital data exchange, and new manufacturing technologies, such as the blending of robots, virtual reality, and the to be determined. This is both exciting and confusing. Your organization may be moving faster or slower than the average workplace, but you will need to be ready for anything if you want to stay relevant and impactful. The future will be vastly different, with changes happening at warp speed. You're way past the rat race. This is more like the gazelle race. It is going to be a new world of work, and as a leader, you will need to operate
Sample complete. Ready to continue?